Hello and welcome to this session. In this video we're going to be resurrecting a lab from a while back called Integrating ServiceNow Approvals to Centrify Enhanced Pseudo using the Direct Authorize Validator. So in this lab, and I'll post a link to this in the blog for this post, we learned about how we can incorporate the DZ-Do validator to supply enhanced security and best practices, but it introduces the idea of integrating ServiceNow for that compliance and change control aspect. So there's a lot of great stuff in this lab, and so you'll need to check this out for the prerequisite for this session because it's got all the scripts that you'll need in order to move forward with it. So essentially, at the end of the lab, you end up with a customized dzcheck.snow script that can be used by the DZ-Do validator in order to do that ServiceNow change control integration. Okay, in the first lab, you end up creating a few different scripts. One of them is this check ServiceNow script, which basically just checks our instance for tickets, right? So if I don't give it an argument, it's saying, check service request ID, and then if I actually give it a value, we'll give it a ticket that doesn't exist, something like ABC123. And it says number of requests equals 0 because that's not an actual ticket. Let's try one that we know is a valid ticket. And this one has got a status of not requested, but it is an actual ticket in our ServiceNow instance. So we can run the same script again. We can try a ticket that is there, but it just has not been approved yet. Or excuse me, it has been approved. So the one ending in 009 is not approved, and the one ending in 001 is approved. So that simple script just kind of queries your ServiceNow instance and gives you information about the tickets. Okay, so now we're going to continue our remedial refresh, whatever you want to call it, and we're actually going to run the DZ-Do or enhanced pseudo commands to trigger the validator. So I'm signed in here as Diana Worth, Active Directory user. So she's an administrator. However, she does need enhanced pseudo privileges to run certain commands, including one that you would probably want to protect is cat at C shadow, right? So if we attempt to execute this command, our dzcheck.snow script is going to ask for a change control ticket number. So if we give it our ticket number that doesn't exist, which is bogus, it's not actually part of our ServiceNow instance, then you could see here, sorry, you're out of luck. Diana Worth user is not allowed to execute that command because you do not have an approved and valid control ticket number. So we can try it again, and this time we're going to supply it with a valid ticket, and this is going to be, let's see, this is going to be a valid ticket, but if you remember, the one ending in 009 was not in an approved state. So same thing. User can't execute the command because you don't have an approved ticket in ServiceNow. Now lastly, we'll try our enhanced pseudo command for cat at C shadow, but this time we're going to give it the ticket that we know is valid, and it's also in a state of approved. So once we execute that, then we're actually allowed to execute the enhanced sudo command. Okay, so now for the new part, but in order for us to be able to use the new script, we have to change our configuration file. So this is a big file, so I'm going to go to the end of it and I'm going to search for validator. And you'll notice the DZ2 validator required check, Boolean check, is set to true, and it's uncommented because we do actually want to use the validator. And you see the three scripts: one, the out-of-the-box one, DZ check, the one we were just using, which is DZ check snow from the original lab, and the latest one, which you can incorporate these changes just into your DZ check snow file. However, I made it a separate file just so it's clear where the actual enhancement is. So I'm going to uncomment our latest one, and I'm going to cover up the last one, so we should be good to go. And we want to go ahead and log in again as our Diana Worth Active Directory user. And we can run those same enhanced sudo command, which is going to be cat etc shadow. So just like before, it's going to ask for a change control ticket number, and if we supply it with the last one we did, which was an approved ticket in ServiceNow, it's going to let us run the command, right? Just like before. So where this is going to be slightly different now is, let's actually take a step back and go over to ServiceNow, and I'm going to refresh this. So the last request we have is 0026, right? So I would suspect if we created a new ticket, and that's what this new script is going to do, that it would be 0027. That's actually what's created. So now, instead of just telling the user, sorry, you don't have an approved ticket, good luck with that, the enhanced snow script is going to check for an active and approved ticket. If it's there, if it's valid, it'll let you run the enhanced sudo command, just like we saw. And if the ticket's not there, then it'll actually create one. Because maybe for whatever reason you really need to run an enhanced sudo command or a set of commands, and somewhere along the way it just hasn't been in the ServiceNow workflow process. This enhanced validator script is actually going to create that ticket. So we'll just try, really anything. Let's say it's a desperation type thing, and we'll enter a control ticket that doesn't exist. Instead of just telling the user that they can't run the command and they're out of luck, it's going to say change control ticket does not exist, creating ticket for approval request. So it creates a new ServiceNow ticket. It gives it, spitting out here the system ID, the unique ID for the ServiceNow ticket. And of course, because you could type in anything here, it doesn't actually let you run the command, right? It's still got to be approved in the workflow. Okay, as you can see, we have in fact created the ticket. So now we've got 0027. So we can go in here. You can see that the approval status is set to requested. The request state is pending approval, right? And we included a description. So new direct authorize request, and we've got some special instructions. So we're basically supplying the user that's trying to execute an enhanced sudo command, right, using direct authorize, and the command itself. So through the change control process, new ticket, new direct authorize request, from Diana Worth, and she wants to run cat etsy shadow. And so we can imagine the workflow process where this was either approved or rejected. Okay, so let's take this opportunity to dig into the logs, because we do want to remind ourselves that all this is being tracked not only in ServiceNow but in Centrify as well. So in our log output here, we can search for some of the actions that were taken. See, we've got a ticket that was or an enhanced sudo command that was not allowed because there was not a valid ticket. Same here. Here we have a reason not approved, so it found the ticket. So all this is being logged, including the successful command. So you've got the traceability in ServiceNow. If you're using direct audit, then you'll be able to run reports on that as well. So really good stuff there. Let's do a quick recap of kind of what we covered. So we included a new DZCheck enhanced ServiceNow file, and if you remember, we had to include that in our etc/centrifydc/centrifydc.configuration file, and we make sure that our validator is turned on with the check here where the cursor is, right? So uncomment that, make sure that our validator is actually being triggered, and then which configuration file or which script is it going to use depends on this part of the configuration file here. So the newest one we introduced is dzcheck.enhance.snow. The one from the previous lab is dzcheck.snow. You can obviously merge these files, and then that's the one that comes out of the box as well. So let's quickly go to where these files are so we don't forget. So that's going to be here. Yeah, so if we navigate over to user/share/centrifydc/sbin, then the actual files are sitting in this directory to be called by the configuration file. So our newest one here, enhance.snow, our original one, and the one from the last lab, dzcheck.snow. Okay, so that pretty much concludes our session for today. Don't forget to check out our latest Centrify integration with Splunk for additional reporting and analytics. So you've got the Splunk integration, you've got Centrify Direct Audit, and as we've demonstrated here today, we've got now even more capabilities and integration with ServiceNow to track these change control events like enhanced sudo commands. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.